can.
Hi, everybody. Yes, we are live in Facebook. Hi, everybody. I hope that you guys are enjoying. So, sorry, I'm going to turn. Okay, we are live. We've got already some people watching right now. So,
hello, people watching.
Sorry?
I said, hello, people watching.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Transgurus. We're going to make this a very interactive show because we really would like you to put us any questions that you have, and we'll try to answer all the questions. In the meantime, there's some very big happenings going around here. First of all, we've got here one of the incredible actresses, which is going to be all over television next year, and that is Raj. I heard that you made some videos with I'm Jazz, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I had a really good time this past weekend filming with them. Don't know how it's all going to be edited, but I think it's going to be a powerful and yeah, I would say powerful episode. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how it comes out. Jazz is wonderful, and her mom is absolutely fabulous. Actually, her parents, and I always say this, as phenomenal as Jazz is, she wouldn't have gotten as far as she's gotten if it were not for the support of her parents.
Absolutely. And
yeah,
her grandparents.
They've been a great support. Yeah.
Her grandparents are really awesome.
Oh my God, I love the grandparents too.
And I love Janine as well. They are really good. I have got another point which is very interesting as well. And please, the people which are watching, and I've seen that there's a hell of a lot of people watching, please write down your questions and we're going to try to answer your questions. Please come. Now, Bonnie has a very interesting letter she wants to report on, and she wants to tell a couple of things. So go ahead, Bonnie.
I just had one of our fans that I communicate that has a trans daughter, and she's come out in the last probably 3 years, but still isn't living full time. But the letter that she wrote, I mean, I'm going to put it on Transguru's page and let people read it. And maybe other parents can take something from that, rearrange it, or change something a little different because something she might say might be triggering to your child. And this could also work for a trans man as well. But, you know, Raj was talking about Jazz, how far Jazz has come and her parents. Well, in this situation, it's the same exact thing. Here's a parent that's supporting their child on a level that, you know, I mean, like just pure love. And how many of us ever get anything like that? Not many. But the point is, the ones that do are blessed, and we can also take from that, maybe grow or help spread or help other parents to realize that, you know, you can still love your child regardless. And that's all the letter was a heartfelt that went from having a son to having a daughter and loving her and proud of her and supporting her and all that goes along with it.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I've got here Gemma Hodkins, and she asks, so she's from the UK. Welcome UK to us because we are
love across the pond.
She transitioned 20 years ago in October, and she asks, what are the long effects of hormones? The long effects of hormones. Does anybody want to talk about that or to start with?
Everything changes.
Oh, yes,
And the
everything.
longer you're on them, I mean, depending on whether it's tea or whether it's estradiol, you know, your hips will get bigger or they'll get smaller. Your boobs may hang a little, you know, over years. Mine been there for a while, so they're a little long. But anyway,
I have not
uh,
I've not been as long as you on hormones, but my effects has been absolutely fantastic. I would just like to tell you something. We need hormones to live. And if you do not have hormones, you may have quite a lot of issues. I think Bonnie can talk about that, right?
40 years, and I screwed up, not to get too crazy, but after I had my surgery, my SRS surgery, I wasn't producing any. And in 1990, when I went to the doctor, you know, and they found that I was trans, they told me to get the F out of their office, kept my money. And then I went in 1991 to another doctor to get hormones, and they did the same exact thing to me when they found that I was trans. So I went 20 years without hormones and it messed my bones up. But now I've been on hormones again for a long time and everything is pretty much in play. But hormones are important for many things. My hormones were just messed up where my testosterone was 10, which isn't a big deal, but I wanted somewhere 40, 50. So I have more of a sex drive. But my estrogen was at 50 and I just had no energy and get up and go, whereas now it's up around 250 and my testosterone's around 40. But what I'm saying is I feel a million times better. So it's very important. I used to be on the injectables and then something happened. We couldn't get them anymore. FDA changed some laws or something. So I went on the patches that didn't work. And then I went on something else that didn't work. And now I'm doing these creams that I rub and they work really, really good. But yes, there are changes. And once you're into it, you need to follow through. And just like with cis women, you know, if your hormones aren't right, you're out of balance, and it's important to keep yourself balanced.
No,
I also want to say something. There are trans women that aren't on hormones. I currently am not taking any hormones. I just felt like I wanted to give my body a break, and I've been fine. Now, everyone is different. A lot of trans women and men need their hormones, but for me, I didn't necessarily feel like I needed them. And so in the beginning, of course, I took them consistently because I needed to have, you know, do my transition. And by the way, my breasts, the size of my breasts are not from hormones. That's a long story. It's a story about my black market injections. But I did initially need the hormones to give me enough flesh to get the breasts that I wanted. So hormones are important, but you know, it's a journey and sometimes you don't always stay on them. And I'm one of the girls. Now, who knows, maybe a year or two from now, I'll get back on them. But for now, I'm off of them and I feel fine.
Jim, do you want to add something about hormones?
I'm good.
Jimmy?
If you're talking to me or you're talking to Shannon.
I'm turning to Shannon. Jimmy, would you like
Not particularly to answer that particular question. I haven't been transitioning long enough. 20 years is a long time, but there's just the whole thing is self-expression, and
Jim,
to get the outside to match the inside. So,
Jim, on your question medically about the long-term effects of hormones, I would just suggest you something. First of all, too little hormones is an issue. Too much hormones is an issue. So make sure that you have always balanced correctly and get followed by a doctor because, you know, a doctor can help you in everything in there. I mean, there are many, let's put it this way, you know, many different people telling different things, but, you know, I think that is, I mean, we've seen people which have been on hormones for a long time and have no issues, and some of them have got issues. If you take, it depends as well how you take them, because if you take them orally, you might develop something with your stomach. I don't take them orally, for example, but I mean, it's just like any kind of medicine. You might have some issues, and get yourself your levels right, not too high, not too low, you know.
And they say when you're over 50, you should either do like the patches, the injectables, the creams, but not necessarily something you digest because it's harder on your liver. And I don't know. So anyway, that's just something that I've heard many times over the years.
Absolutely. By the way, we've got people from all over the world. We've got people from Canada. Hi, Julie. And we've got people from Philippines. Nessa, nice to meet you. I hope it's nice to have such a lot of people from so far away.
Filipino food. Hello, Canada. Hello, Philippines. I want some adobe. Adobo. I think it's adobo.
Anyway, what I like about Philippines is lechon. It's very good.
Oh my God. And I love Bicol Express. Bicol Express. It's a Filipino dish.
And from Australia, we've got Kelly Nash from Australia. Oh my God, we've got all over.
I'm ready to go down under, honey.
Well, this is not a sexual thing, honey.
Well, hey, that's where Australia is, down under.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. I was wrong.
You get it?
I was wrong. My mind is.
Ella, are there any questions?
Yes, there is another question here. I've got Kagan Dees. Kagan Dees writes me, hello, I'm a transgender man from Texas. My life in Texas has been great and rough at the same time. I've been physically assaulted for being trans, and I've got nothing but love for people for being myself. Here, a lot of transgender women have the biggest targets on their backs. What advice will you give to protect the community here in Texas, and how can we open up to people's hearts? I think it is a very nice question. Thank you for asking, Kagan. Can someone start? Or shall I start?
Well,
No, I'd like to. I would like to address that.
Okay, go ahead.
That question. It's, you know, let's say there's all things in nature, all principles in nature are consistent. So what applies to a school of fish applies to a group of people. So there's a school of fish and there's the shark. The shark usually ends up eating the fish that is possibly weaker or has a different pheromone. Sharks can smell, and so we have spoke about this before. In order to achieve self-mastery, self-actualization is what we spoke about before. You got to go through the jungle. And I think this young man mentioned that he's encountered some adversity. Well, these periods of adversity, these encounters are what make us strong. And so we need to embrace the lessons of life, but yet there's ways to how we carry ourselves. If we show a confidence, not an arrogant confidence, but our posture, how we carry ourselves, we're sure of ourselves, we're less apt to be a target. And, you know, travel in groups of twos or threes. But I in my own life, I've found that how I carry myself and how I engage other people and even also how I look other people in the eye, body language, these are all things that we can use instinctively. We are predisposed to our body language will reflect whether we're vulnerable or whether we're not. So my suggestion would be just to be aware of our body language, our posture, how we walk, how we present ourselves. Are we vulnerable or are we secure? Ellen.
I have to say that I think Jimmy is 100% right. I'm an international person. I travel all over the world. And, you know, if you feel good with yourself, you can present with yourself and protect yourself. I mean, I'm not asking the people who think that I'm a transgender or not. That's not really my issue. I am probably, you know, I pass probably quite well, but, you know, it's not really my issue, but it's very often not the way you look. It's the way you present yourself, the way you protect, you put those guards around you, as Jimmy was telling, you know, and they're like that you can protect yourself from the sharks, but you know, sometimes they get through, absolutely. Raj, you want to tell something?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say you're a survivor and shout out to you. God bless you. I have been brutally beaten up 3 times in my life. The first attack, I was pulled off of a city bus in Philadelphia by 6 guys and beaten up in front of about 50 people. And those, you know, those incidences or situations that we go through, they are not easy. I was physically broken, mentally and spiritually broken. But I could sit here today as a survivor, and instead of being a victim, I am victorious. Okay. So, you know, this horrible thing happened to you, but the whole point is these people that did it, they want to break you down. They want to, you know, really like destroy your soul. That's where they're coming from. They're coming from a place of fear. And when people fear something, they either run from it or they want to destroy it, attack it and destroy. So embrace the fact that you survived, okay? And if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So you go forward and you can share your story, because what I've done in a lot of the horrible things that have happened to me as a trans person is I've used it as a form of my activism. And so that alone can empower you. And things are getting better. I mean, unfortunately, we still have a long way to go. But it's not as bad as it used to be here in America for trans people. And I lived through those days. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
I was just going to add to that. I lived those days too. And what I learned through, just like what Raj says, the violence, is don't put yourself in a situation where that can happen, such as don't go to a country western redneck bars with a bunch of rednecks, or don't go to a biker bar. I mean, I'm not knocking people, but what I'm saying is go to places that you're not going to have conflict. And a lot of times the problem will never happen. But we have some people. We had from Las Vegas here wishing us a hello.
I think, Bonnie, I have one of the most beautiful questions I've ever seen in Transgurus. And
Yes.
this comes from Kay Eller. Kay Eller writes, I'm a transgender man and I'm 15 and I'm pregnant and I decide to keep the baby. Am I still valid? Yes.
Can I say something real quick? I just want to enter in. That baby will be a godsend later on. If you transition, that child will love you and you'll have someone that you can grow up with and they can be your friend and they'll be understanding and they'll always love you. That, yes, it doesn't take anything away from you because you're having a child, because that child is a blessing. I have a child and thank God. I mean, what I'm saying is I was on hormones 3 months before he was born. So what I'm saying is, yes, that's a gift, but no, it doesn't take away from anything from you being trans man.
Okay, I have to say, 15 years old and pregnant is probably a bit early, but it does not change anything about your being transgender man, you know, it really does not. I mean, there are many very famous transgender men which became parents, and you know, I think that is very valid and it is very beautiful. Why shouldn't you? You know? Any comments, Rash?
I'm not a parent. I don't have children. But I know that from like hearing from other parents, a child is such a gift. You know, you're bringing spirit into life through you. You're the vessel and the vehicle for that, and that's a special thing. So I have a niece and a nephew though, and I do know about loving and caring for kids. Actually, more in some ways more than yourself. I remember babysitting my niece and nephew and thinking, "Oh my God! Like if something happened, I would probably jump in front of them to protect them and risk my life." So that love is such a powerful thing. But it's a journey, and this one thing doesn't define whether you're trans or you're not trans. It's just, you know, you're going to be a trans parent, and that's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
Walter, thank you for the compliment. And Elizabeth Hunt, hello from Las Vegas.
And we've got as well Besigna from the Philippines. And
Halika, halika. That's my only one Tagalog word I know.
And she asks, keep safe, Munchies, and we'll do as much as we can. Okay.
Getting back to the person that wants to is considering having a baby.
Yep.
Speaking, I'm a parent myself, and it's a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
Just be aware that I love how Raji expressed her feelings. Very just wow. Childbirth is a miracle in itself. However, it comes with tremendous responsibility. And so for a young person to go through with childbirth, it's imperative that there's support in place, you know, grandparents, folks that are there are going to be able to help you care for this child. Because the first 3 or 4 years of a child's life is the most important. And just make that a consideration.
Yeah, and Vanessa Rose wrote that, I do not believe that the trans man and pregnant too, you need love and care and attention. You will get it here. Will not get it here. Please seek professional help. Of course, she has to seek professional help. But, you know, being a trans man and pregnant, that is not the first person. It is quite, and it is a positive, we do see it as a positive thing, not a negative thing. But I do agree with you, Vanessa, that, you know, Kay must seek professional help. That is something which is, I think, a basic for everybody. Okay. Okay, I've got here, what happens to me fuels me up to help others. I share my story to people like me, never feel I'll be there alone, and to help them just be themselves. I want to thank you all for the advice and your words of love and kindness. Thank you very much, Keegan. We'll do our best to support you people, and you know, we love you. Okay. And Vanessa, I'm sorry, Vanessa. I think that yeah, even if you are not agreeing that a trans man can have kids, okay, that's probably your point of view. I think that is very valuable. Okay.
There's a lot of trans men that have kids, and we know some couples with trans men and trans women, and they're together and they want a child. They have a child, even though they're both trans, but they still have their union and they have it. Not all trans men go and have, all the organs removed, like when bottom surgery for a trans woman. For a trans man, they're not, until they get where the surgery is down. When they do the surgery, then of course they would probably do the hysterectomy. But my point is that it's sometimes not as prevalent, and trans men do get pregnant, and it happens. You hear it all the time, and it's just part of life.
One of my very good friends is a trans man who got pregnant. So it happens. It does.
Yeah. I have to say myself, I am a mother. Well, I am actually father because I was never a mother. I mean, being transgender, but I'm a parent of 3 kids and grandparent. So, yeah, I agree with you, Vanessa. Yeah, 15 years old is very young. I totally agree with you that. I know. If it is trans man or if it is a woman to get pregnant at 15 years old,
But it's rare that you're going to find a trans woman getting somebody pregnant, because there's no gas in the tank, I guess.
If you can wait 10 years, it's a lot of responsibility, right?
Yes.
absolutely.
Is there another question?
I think it just came in.
Yes. Vanessa, a straight woman can be pregnant at the age of 15. Maybe he's pregnant when he's 15. Then after giving birth, he starts his HRT or taking testosterone. Vanessa, that was an answer from Tochi. So I think there is a very, very correct discussion here. Yeah, but in all cases, seriously, you have to have professional help. That is absolutely correct. And, that is a basic that I think transgender people who need to have is to have some transgender, some health, taken to them, mental and physical, of course.
And also, if you do have a child and then you do go on T and you transition and the kid grows up with you being masculine, they're going to look at you in that way. And the first couple years, they're just children and you can love them. But I understand 15 is young, and I understand 15 is harder than 18 or 20. And in certain areas, if you don't have help, then it's even harder. But,
No, absolutely. So any other discussions, any other questions, please let us know. I think until now we had a really nice discussion, and we try to answer the best as we can. And since we are probably been transgender for a while, some of us for many years, some of us actually are pioneers. We do have a little bit of experience, and we try to answer the best we can. Transgurus, you've got any other things to add?
I was in the gym earlier today, and when I work out pretty hard. And one of these thoughts came across my mind, in that I made the conscious choice to self-actualize. I made the conscious choice that I wasn't going to allow society or the world to dictate who I am and how I express myself as myself. And as a result of that, as a result of making a commitment to myself, to be myself and to be the best possible version that I can make of myself, that level of commitment I express into the intensity of the workouts and how I live my life in and out of the gym. And so I was thinking, what if I would have yielded to the norms of society and shriveled up back into my little cocoon where it was safe and to just to conform to society? My life right now would be totally, I think, would be totally different. But making that decision, that commitment to be the best version of myself, I put myself in a position that I have to perform. My life requires tremendous effort to maintain this level of existence. And so therefore the reward is equal to that effort. And that just kind of hit me earlier today. It's like, what if I would have just, chickened out or didn't muster the courage necessary to become my true self? Who knows? I'd be on the street corner right now, or a bum in the bar drinking, or just being stupid. But I think when we make a decision to become the best version of ourselves, we'll magically somehow or another muster the energy necessary to blossom. The potential, the energy is there. The courage is there. The stamina, the will, it's there. It's deep down inside somewhere. And when we make the commitment and the decision to become our true self, you will find that energy. You will find that courage, that wisdom, the guidance. It's all inside. And if we have people listening from around the world, that's one thing I just want to share with people. That we make a decision to be ourselves, you'll find the energy. It'll come from within you. It's there.
Absolutely.
Hello, we have one from Samantha.
Yeah. You want to read it, Bonnie?
I don't want to mispronounce the last name.
Druckenmiller.
Okay. She's talking about she's dealing with the past few years, very minimal dysphoria. And over the last week or so, my dysphoria has been on overdrive. Have you ever experienced this, and how did you pull out of it?
Yeah. For me, it's usually together with my hormones. So you can get dysphoria or feeling extremely sensitive for a while, and usually it's something to do together with my hormone imbalance or hormone balance. But I mean, this is my thing. But it's true that, it can happen that one day you look at yourself in the mirror and you just face yourself in the wrong place. Usually not in the wrong place, but you don't look as what you would like to look like. That is the thing.
Yeah, Ella, what you say is.
Go ahead, Jimmy. I was just going to say dysphoria. We all have it. That's all. Go ahead.
Well, what Ella was touching on is what I was going to expand on, in that in my life, for myself being a trans girl, when I look in the mirror, my brain expects to see a chick. And so the more I blossom as a female, the more congruent my mind, body, and spirit become. So it's a journey. And yeah, a lot of times, what was the girl's name? Was it Samantha? What, Bonnie?
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, so Samantha, not the life journey is not always in the forward direction. Sometimes or another, we'll get thrown in reverse. And so when we find ourselves being thrown in reverse and we're going backwards, there may be a reason for that. We may need to relearn a lesson. There may be something that we missed on that part of our journey and we have to re-experience it. But just know that the sun will shine on our faces again. And I know when I I really never felt like, fucked up dysphoria, but I just do know how I explain it. I was happy watching a black and white TV until someone came up with a color TV, and holy shit. So, but in my life, the more I blossom as this woman that I'm becoming, it's a journey. The more congruent, the more just how everything's coming together. There's a synchronicity of all the cells in my body are all working in harmony with one another, that there's no conflict, and it's like a sense of almost even elation, a sense of like being stoned, when you're in this being almost like a nirvana state, that is a result of my mind, body, and spirit being organized, all going in the same way. We can organize our thoughts and our mind and our body to all the horses running in the same direction. And that's where we have that explosion of energy and enlightenment. Ella.
Thank you, Jimmy. Absolutely beautiful words. I have got here some other comments.
I just wanted to say in regards to that,
Yes, okay,
like Bonnie had said, we all, trans people, all of us have some form of dysphoria. Some have it greater than others. But what I want to say is, because of my dysphoria, I ended up getting into a lot of trouble, because it was almost like, the desire was so strong to match, not almost like it was, that the desire was so strong within myself to match the way my outside looked with the way my inside felt, my essence. And so I would just say, like, if you're really going through like major dysphoria, do things like focus on how you want to look, like your picture of what you want to look like, and then make a game plan. Because what I find is, if at least if you're doing something about it, even if it's a small step, like researching a particular procedure, it will make you feel like, okay, I'm doing something about the way I feel about my dysphoria, and hopefully calm you down a little bit. Because a lot of times there's a phrase, haste makes waste. And a lot of us girls, we rushed. We were so, determined. And determination is a good thing, but I'm just saying it's okay to take your time and write out a game plan, and you'll get there. Believe me, you'll get there.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Nope, it takes a while. Okay, I've got a comment here. My first time here, that is from Tori Clay. My first time here, I'm glad I found this group, and it is very interesting. I really appreciate, and you have captions on. I'm Tori in Boston, and I'm a professional entertainer and transgender woman. Glad, please follow us and make some promotion for us.
Hi, sweetheart.
I've got Kaylee Nash. I am an ally to your community, and my daughter-in-law is a beautiful trans woman. I work in the disability sector and speak to my clients. I'm currently developing an information awareness pack for my colleagues. What advice would you pick to feel are important? Kaylee, write to me, to us, and we can try to send you some information. Both Raj, I think Raj has done quite a lot of support for, some of our friends, they do things like teach the police about transgender people, doctors. And I think that Raj has done quite a lot of help there. And I'm sure we can put to you a package of, about awareness for transgender people all over. That would be really nice, and really we could get some people which have got quite a lot of experience to put this package together. Okay. As a matter of fact, it could be a theme for a new evening, just, transgender awareness generally, and how to create this awareness, and, who do we have to talk to? Okay.
I just wanted to add that, we do this. These are our personal experiences that we're sharing. We're not necessarily encouraging anybody to do anything, because everybody has to find their own place where they have their level of comfort and decipher. And whether you're going to a shrink or whether you're going here or there, not everybody has the answers. What's in your head is in your head. You need to digest what you have. Because all as we do is give, because there's usually 5 of us. I don't know, I'm Christian tonight, but you get different opinions. Sometimes we've been on there where Ella gives one way of looking at something and I come right back and give the exact opposite. But people get to hear 2 different ways, or 3 or 4 or 5 different ways of looking at stuff. That's what we try to do with Trans Gurus.
Okay. Tori Clay just pointed to the International Foundation for Gender Education, which is a great institution. I think that that is a very good idea as well, to get more information from there. Okay. Okay.
Oh, another 2 organizations, the Yes Institute, that's located in South Miami. Excellent gender workshop they do. It's the
Absolutely.
Yes Institute.
Mhm.
And I work with, I'm an outreach advocate for Transsocial. Transsocial has a really great gender workshop that actually is online. So there's a lot of resources.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, I think that we should bring probably Morgan and Ashley to this meeting one day, because I think they would be really great about that, So we've been here now for 42 minutes. And do you guys have something to close now?
Thank you for tuning in. And if y'all like this, send us some messages and we'll continue, or we can just do the other type shows. It's all about giving back to the community. We get nothing for this. We just do it for the love of what the universe has given us. We try to give back. I'm done.
Thank you for watching. We had a hell of a lot of people watching and many, many questions. Sometimes controversial, but absolutely beautiful. And we love you.
Yes, we do love you. And I just want to encourage, well, this message is for every human being walking on the planet, or I should say breathing and existing on the planet, but especially to my transgender sisters and brothers. No matter what situation you may be in, no matter what you may be facing, the hardship that you're going through, maybe your family's against you, you don't have any friends, whatever your situation may be, always remember that you were born into life. Therefore, you have a birthright to be here. And your existence is very important to the scope of the world and, existence as a whole. You're a walking miracle. We all are walking miracles. Hold on to that. And believe me, I don't want you to think I'm sitting here and these are just words. I'm speaking from my soul, because I've been there where I felt like giving up and just, not going on anymore. And if I had given up today, I think about all the things I would have missed out on. So hold on to that. Know that you have a divine place and a divine purpose here in this world. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Raj.
Absolutely great. And I mean, this show was incredible. It was from the Philippines to all over the place. Absolutely incredible. Around the earth, trans gurus.
Shannon, did you want to add anything? Or we're going to wrap it up?
Just no, I just sending love to everyone.
Okay, with those words, Bye, everybody. It was
Bye.
absolutely great to be with you guys. Join us next week. We're going to try to get technically even better and better. And thanks for everything. And please send us your questions. We'd love to answer you. Okay?
And you can send your questions to us in Messenger. And next week when we do it, we can also talk about it then. In case you can't make the meeting, you can always go back and listen to it afterwards as we post it. But yes, we want your questions.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Okie dokie.
So Raj, how was it with Jazz?
Oh, great. Well, I go way back with them.